Homonyms are words different in meaning but identical in sound or spelling, or both in sound and spelling. For example, a bank in the meaning a shore, a bank in the meaning of an institution for receiving, lending, exchanging money, etc. The term homonym is derived from Greek homos, similar, and onyma, and thus expresses the sameness of name combined with a difference in meaning. Homonyms can appear in the language not only as a result of the split of polysemy, but also as a result of leveling of grammar inflections, when different parts of speech become identical in their outer aspect. Homonyms are distinguished into three types: homonyms proper, homophones, and homographs. Homonyms are the same in sound and spelling are traditionally named homonyms proper. For example, the word noun match in the meaning a game, and match is a thing which is used for producing fire. Homonyms are the same in sound but different in spelling can be defined as homophones. Homographs are words with the same spelling but pronounced differently. For example, the word bow means to incline the head or body in salutation. Bow is a flexible strip of wood for propelling arrows. The verb to lead means to conduct on the way, go before to show the way, and lead is a heavy, rather soft metal. A more detailed classification was given by Arnold. She classified only perfect homonyms and suggested four criteria of their classification: lexical meaning, grammatical meaning, basic forms, and paradigms. According to these criteria, Arnold pointed out the following groups: homonyms identical in their grammatical meanings, basic forms and paradigms, and different in their lexical meanings. For example, a board in the meanings a council and a thin flat piece of wood. Homonyms identical in their grammatical meanings and basic forms, different in their lexical meanings and paradigms. For example, to lie, light, light, and to lie, lay, laying. Homonyms different in their lexical meanings, grammatical meanings, paradigms, but coinciding in their basic forms. For example, light, lights, light, lighter, lightest. And homonyms different in their lexical meanings, grammatical meanings, and their basic forms, but coinciding in one of the forms of their paradigms. Synonyms are one of the language's most important expressive means. The principal function of synonyms is to represent the same phenomenon in different aspects, shades, and variations. Synonyms can be defined as words of the same category, parts of speech, conveying the same concept and possessing one or more identical denotational meanings but different either in shade of meaning or in stylistic characteristics. For example, good-looking, pretty, attractive adjectives describe a pleasant appearance. To win a victory, synonym to gain a victory, homeland, motherland, etc. All synonymic groups have a central word whose meaning is equal to the denotation common to all synonymic groups. This word is called the nominant synonym. Here are examples of other dominant synonyms with their groups. For example, to surprise, synonyms to astonish, to amaze, to astound. The word to tremble, synonyms to shiver, to shudder, to shake, etc. The dominant synonym expresses the notion common to all synonyms of the group in the most general way, without any additional information. So any dominant synonym is a typical basic vocabulary word. Its meaning is broad and generalized, more or less covers the meanings of the rest of the synonyms. For example, to look instead of to glare, to stare, to peer, to peep. Summing up what has been said, the following characteristic features of the dominant synonym can be underlined. They are high frequency of usage, broad combinability, that is, ability to be used in combinations with various classes of words, broad general meaning. Synonyms are words different in their outer aspects but identical or similar in their inner aspects. In English, there are a lot of synonyms because there are many borrowings. For example, hearty, it's a native word. Cordial, it's a borrowing. Town, city. All synonymic groups can be classified into several types. The classification system for synonyms was established by Vinogradov, the famous Russian scholar. In his classification system, there are three types of synonyms. They are ideographic, words conveying the same concept but differing in shades of meaning, for example, stool, chair, piece, lamp, or slice. Stylistic synonyms, different in stylistic characteristics. Stylistic synonyms are similar in their denotational aspect of meaning, but different in their connotational aspect. Substituting one stylistic synonym for another results in an inadequate presentation of the situation of communication. The third group of synonyms is called absolute synonyms, which coincide in all their shades of meaning. For example, big and large, homeland and motherland, small and little. In contemporary research on synonymy, semantic criterion is frequently used. The leading semantic component in the semantic structure of word is usually termed denotative components or denotation. Antonyms are words belonging to the same category of parts of speech and expressing contrary or contradictory notions. Antonyms from the Greek anti, which means opposite, and onyma, name, are word pairs that opposite in meaning, such as hot and cold, fat and skinny. Polysemantic words may have different antonyms depending on the meaning. For example, the adjective dull has the antonyms interesting, amusing, entertaining for its meaning of deficient in interest. Clever, bright, capable for its meaning of deficient in intellect, and active for the meaning of deficient in activity, etc. Antonyms form mostly pairs, not groups like synonyms: above, below, absent, present, alike, different, or bad and good. Komisarov, in his Dictionary of Antonyms, classified them into two groups: absolute or root antonyms and derivational antonyms. Absolute antonyms can be subdivided into antonyms proper, where opposition is gradual. It includes several elements characterized by different degrees of the same property. For example, cold, cool, antonyms warm, hot, large, antonyms little or small. Complementarity is a binary opposition. It may have only two members. The denial of one member of the opposition implies the assertion of the other, for example, dead, alive, single, married, etc. Converses denote one and the same reference from different points of view, for example, to sell, to buy, to give, to receive. Absolute antonyms have different roots and derivational antonyms have the same roots but different affixes. For example, known, unknown, appear, disappear, etc. The regular type of derivational antonyms contains negative prefixes. For example, im, il, in, ir, on, this, and none. For example, experienced, inexperienced, logical, illogical, convenient, inconvenient. Sometimes they are formed by means of suffixes full and less. The number of antonyms with the suffixes full and less is not very large, and sometimes, even if we have a word with one of the suffixes, its antonym is formed not by substituting full by less. For example, successful, unsuccessful, selfless, selfish. The same is true about antonyms with negative prefixes. For example, to man is not an antonym of the word to unman. To disappoint is not an antonym of the word to appoint. The difference between derivational and root antonyms is not only in their structure, but in semantics as well. Derivational antonyms express contradictory notions. One of them excludes the other. For example, active, inactive. Absolute antonyms express contrary notions and can be arranged in a group of more than two members. For example, the antonyms of the adjective ugly or plain, good looking, pretty, beautiful, etc.